So the left has melted down about climate change over the last couple of weeks. Here's a question for you. You ever notice how countries like China and Russia and North Korea really don't care that much about climate change? In fact, China emits like a third of the carbon into the atmosphere for the entire world, yet the U.S. is expected to play by all these arbitrary rules. Isn't it weird how China and Russia and North Korea and communist dictatorship countries don't really care about climate change? It's not really on their not really on their list of concerns. You know why? I'll give you a theory. It's because they already have authoritarian communist governments. Because that's the end game of this whole climate change thing, is to get people to turn their freedoms and their liberties over to these authoritarian governments. And these countries already have that. They've already scared their people into submission. They don't need to do that. So they don't. They don't waste their time. They're like, yeah, we're going to pollute the hell out of the environment. I'm not saying it's good to pollute the environment. We definitely should be wary. But for someone who's got a bigger, like John Kerry or Leonardo DiCaprio or any of these environmental morons that has a bigger carbon footprint in a day than I will over the next 10 years, for them to sit there and lecture me and tell me that I shouldn't be able to drive a car, or to tell me that I shouldn't be able to have a gas stove, or that I should have to, turn my air conditioning off when it gets, to 85 degrees or below, for them to sit there and do that is an insult to humanity. Truly. Speaking of air conditioning, here we go. This is from Nate B. Panic on Twitter. Nate Bear said, yesterday, parts of the U.S. South experienced wet bulb temperatures up to 94 degrees Fahrenheit. At these temperatures, no amount of shade or hydration can save you. Without AC, you die. And this is just the beginning. Did you know that, Mia? 94 degrees. There's nothing you're dead. There is nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. The people in Africa 200 years ago that didn't have AC, they just died. The settlers in the United States, in the 1700s when they went down south, the 1800s they went down south, they just died without air conditioning. People in South America, the Aztecs, the Native Americans in the southern parts of the United States, they just died. They don't exist. Did you know? Africa, there's no one living in Africa right now because they all died thousands of years ago because it got to 94 degrees Fahrenheit and they didn't have air conditioning. They didn't have it. They had, they had that language, that really cool language, but they couldn't figure out how to translate that over to a manual to assemble an AC, a window AC device for their huts. They just couldn't figure it out.
There's people that are dying.
Literally, anytime it gets above 94 degrees. Now, I'm not saying you should expose yourself to that heat for long periods of time. It's probably not a good idea. But this idea that there's no amount of shade or water, you're just dead. You're just dead. I'm going to tell you what, I've been to a lot of outdoor rock festivals, and I definitely drank more beer than I did water, and your boy is still very much alive right now, and it was close to 100 degrees at a couple of them. I'm here. Spent 9 hours out in the sun drinking beer, dehydrating myself. Not in the shade, mind you. I am still very much alive. So I am either an anomaly and a walking scientific miracle that they need to study my DNA immediately, which they probably should, because how else could you be this charismatic and good looking? Or Nate Bear is full of shit. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to click the link in the description to get the full episode on Rumble. If you prefer to listen along, you could actually get us on Spotify, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio. You can also go to www.outlawstreamers.com to learn more about not just my show, but tons of other great shows and all the exciting projects they have coming up. Follow my socials at Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter and Instagram, at Caleb Salvatore Comedy on the Chinese Spy app that is TikTok, and be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thanks, and we'll see you every Saturday for brand new episodes of That's Based. Peace.